Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Actually, this time I was actually going to allow the clerk to continue reading the amendment, only to the extent that it's such a short amendment, and I know we've dealt with other controversial things today, and had she continued to read the amendment, she would have seen, or we all would have heard within less than one long sentence, I guess, that this amendment would simply require that anyone that the CFPA selects to be the nominee to be the next director of the agency should simply have what I would think is a very basic minimum. We would hope to have more than this, but at least 1 year of real-world experience, either working in the private sector financial services company or 1 year working for one of the current banking regulatory agencies. As you know now, Mr. Chairman, all the heads of the current federal bank agencies have at least 1 year of regulatory experience. Actually, they had a whole lot more than that in most cases, or private sector financial service experiences. I think we would all agree, I would hope, on both sides of the aisle that it's important that any director of a federal banking agency would have at least that much experience working in the federal level or in the private sector, or 1 year working in the banking regulatory agencies. When you think about it, based on the requirements and the authorities that we are creating under this bill for the new director of the agency, isn't it really essential that the new director, as I say, have real-world experience dealing with these amazingly complex financial products? It was just last week, I think it was, time flies here, that we dealt with the whole issue of derivatives, and we delved into that for several hours to realizing how complex those products are. Well, there are likewise many more like that that this agency and this director is going to have to deal with. And we would want to make sure that this person who is making, you might say, life and death decisions on whether these products live or die, whether the consumer actually gets the opportunity to enjoy the use of them, or if they determine that they should not, that they're being banned, that the director should have that experience. Finally, I don't believe that requiring this 1 year of real-world experience is asking too much of anything. Especially considering that this agency will have to prove every single new financial product that is created. And it will be deciding for all individuals, for all consumers, for all Americans in this country, what financial products may or may not be appropriate for them. So if we're going to limit their choices, if we're going to limit Americans' choices and consumers as to what they can have, let's allow them to make sure that the person that's running the organization has that experience necessary to make those choices appropriately. And with that, I yield back. Yep.